Are you here to discuss your orders, Ada? Or is there something else you want? I've glanced at Hasfat and Tabili's notes. They cover the 6th house admirably, but not the Nriveran cult. Hop on over to the Balmora Mages Guild. It's right next to the Balmora Fighters Guild. Get Sharngia Gra-Muzgob to tell you what she knows about the Nriveran. She'll have some silly errand for you. Do what she asks. And report back when she's given you the information. A trusted informant says there are a secret cult associated with some strange events recently, and, more important, my informant thinks these recent disturbances are related in some way to the Nriveran prophecies. The illiterate Ashlanders pass down their customs and history in the form of poetic verses. Among the things they preserve in verse are the dreams and prophetic visions of their wise women, in particular the verses that foretell the coming of the Nriveran. But I don't know much about it. That's why I'm sending you to find out. I don't know much about the Ashlanders. Most people say they are murderous savages. But most people are idiots. I know they hate their settled Dunmer cousins almost as much as they hate Westerners. They must be tough to live in the Ashlands. I don't think Outlanders can become members of the tribes. I don't know why anyone would want to. Very smart. For an orc. An unhealthy interest in the dark arts, perhaps, but very smart. She's always worried that the temple will bust in and stick her in a fire. And worried with good reason. The Tribunal Temple is the native religion. They worship 3 god kings, Almalexia, Suthasil, and Vivek, who are known together as the Tribunal. We usually just call it the temple. They're narrow-minded and superstitious, but I find a lot to admire, particularly their concern for the poor. They accept Outlanders as members, but few Outlanders join except for the services. Talk to Feldrello Sadri at the Balmora Temple if you are thinking about joining. I am a sleeper, one among thousands. I bring you a message. Dagathor calls you, Ada, and you cannot deny your lord. The 6th house is risen, and Dagath is its glory. He is the lord, and father of the mountain. He sleeps, but when he wakes, we shall rise from our dreams, shall sweep our land clean of the Enwa. Why have you denied him? As Lord Dagath has said, all shall greet him as flesh, or as dust. The 6th house, the sleeping house, House Dagath, the house of Lord Dagath. The true house, the one house to welcome all true Dunmer, and drive the Enwa from our land. Rejoice, and join us. Come to Red Mountain, and prepare the way for his coming. I am a sleeper, one among thousands.
No interruptions. How many times? Oh. You are one of Chaos' associates. That is a different matter. Chaos and I have a very satisfactory arrangement, and I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement, if you will complete a little errand for me. The errand, then, is very simple. I need the skull of Leviel Andrino. You'll find it in Andrino Ancestral Tomb. But take care not to upset the natives. The Dunmer have some peculiar primitive prejudices against necromancy, and take grave objection to unauthorized tomb visits. He was no one special. A journeyman enchanter. There may be many skulls in Andrino tomb, but you'll have no problem recognizing Leviel's skull from the ritual markings. The tomb is south of Pelagiad, just off the road, just before you reach the fork where the road goes southwest towards Sidonin and southeast to Vivek. You may need an enchanted blade. Some spirits are immune to normal weapons. Here. Take this old short sword. And maybe these old scrolls will come in handy. In the Empire, necromancy is a legitimate discipline, though body and spirit are protected property, and may not be used without permission of the owner. But in Morrowind, the Dunmer loathe necromancers, and put them to death. That's absurd, of course, since the Dunmer summon their own dead to guard tombs and defend the family. Sacred necromancy is righteous, while philosophical necromancy is evil. It's primitive superstition, that's all. No. Of course not. I can't teach you spells. I'm not a necromancer. No. Absolutely not. Not a necromancer.
Greetings. May fortune be with you. May I help you? Tidings, Dunmer.
Begging your pardon. Have you seen a bandit nearby? I must find him. Yes, I was just walking along here, minding my own business. Suddenly, a bandit jumped at me from behind. He was a dark elf, a strong, dashing dark elf. He didn't harm me in any way, although he did take my jewels. He was quite gentle, and he talked to me for what seemed like forever. What's that? Oh, never mind the jewels. I just want to find the bandit again. He was charming and funny, and I simply must see him again. His name? Nellos Onmer, a name that will stay on my lips for eternity. Perhaps you can find him for me? Please, I cannot live without knowing if he could ever love me. I have nothing to offer you in return, but could you not help me for the sake of love? You will try? Thank you so. I'm sure you will be able to find him. He mentioned something about having to head north, so I imagine he might be found in Pelagiad. Please, if you find him, give him this glove for me, as a token of my love. I'm certain he will want to find me again.
I am a sleeper, one among thousands. I bring you a message. Dagathor calls you, Ada. Beneath Red Mountain, Lord Dagath sleeps. Ah. You understand me a bit, yes? Hello, Ada. Yakum greet you. Bless and be blessed. Speak Old Elf, yes, so Yakum learn. You know Ashlanders, yes, a little. Yakum is Ashlander. We are the people of the wastes. We hunt and herd Gur. We live the law and honor the ancestors. No houses. Just yurts. I was a herder, but now I want to become rich, like a great trader. I will live in a town, fight, find treasure, get rich, learn to trade. The soul sickness and blight storms are very bad now in the Ashlands, so I came to Pelagiad. Now I live in a big house and work for men who pay gold. There's bad magic in the dust from Red Mountain. The Shermit Dagathor sends bad dreams in the dust. The people can't sleep, act crazy. When the blight storms come, soul sickness comes both together. When I lived in the Ashlands, I got no sleep, had bad dreams, was all the time tired. Now that I'm here in Pelagiad, I sleep fine. There is bad magic in the dust from Red Mountain. The grass dies, the Kwama and Gur go mad, bite and fight. These are very hard times for the tribes, so the tribes go raiding. Here there is not blight, and I live in big house and get rich and soft like a fat trader. He's here in the tavern somewhere. Check over by the bar.
Yes, stranger?
I'll be happy to help you, stranger. I'm Nello's Onmer. People are fairly friendly here in Pelagiad. We don't mind answering a few questions. You have what? How odd. She was a lovely young woman, but what would she want with a rogue like me? She is beautiful, though, and seemed sweet. For the first time in my life, I actually felt a little remorse for robbing someone. I should see her again. Here, take this. Tell her you have a note from Nellos. I must see her again. I won't forget this, friend. Yes, just tell her you have a note from Nellos. I think she'll be happy with it.
Food and beds. Or both, at the same time. Haha. Your choice. We've got local fare. It's filling, and priced to move. We've got the local brews, Grief, Shine, Mazdi, and Sujamma. They're cheap, and full of kick. I've got the good stuff, too, behind the counter Siridi I Leech Brandy and Flynn, but it ain't cheap. Yes, we have one available. It's 10 gold for the rest of the day. Do you want it? Great. The bed is yours. At the end of the hall upstairs, you'll find it unlocked. Enjoy your stay in Palladiad.
Well met. What is it?
What do you think you're doing in here? The 36 Lessons of Vivek, Sermon 15. I put a star. The 36 Lessons of Vivek, Sermon 15. These were the days of Rizdania, when Chimer and Humor lived under the wise and benevolent rule of the Amal-Sivi and their champion the Horde Aether. When the gods of Velith would retreat unto their own, to mold the cosmos and other matters, the Horde Aether would at times become confused. Vivek would always be there to advise him, and this is the third of the 3 lessons of ruling kings. The ruling king will remove me, his maker. This is the way of all children. His greatest enemy is the Shermit, who is the false dreamer. You or he is the Shingle, Horde Aether. Beware the wrong walking path. Beware the crime of benevolence. Behold him by his words. I am a Shermit. I am older than music. What I bring is light. What I bring is a star. What I bring is an ancient sea. When you sleep you see me dancing at the core. It is not a blight. It is my house. I put a star into the world's mouth to murder it. Tear down the pylons. My blind fish swim in the new phlogiston. Tear down the pylons. My deaf moons sing and burn and orbit me. I am older than music. What I bring is light. What I bring is a star. What I bring is an ancient sea. You alone, though you come again and again, can unmake him. Whether I allow it is within my wisdom. Go unarmed into his den with these words of power, Ae Gartok Padhom Chim Ae Altadun. Or do not. The temporal myth is man. Reach heaven by violence. This magic I give to you, the world you will rule is only an intermittent hope and you must be the letter written in uncertainty. The ending of the words is Shibi.
I don't think we've been introduced, Outlander. I'm Junolei. How can I help you? I am Junolei, acrobat. I'm an acrobat. As an entertainer, my job is to amaze and
I must say I find you most interesting right now. Please go ahead.
Mori. Truly, I was enchanted with you from the moment I saw you. I beg your forgiveness for my past transgressions. While I cannot imagine what a woman of your beauty and breeding would see in a rogue such as me, I thank the gods that you have sent for me. I will come to you as soon as I can. Until then. Yours. Nellos.
I must find that bandit. I believe he's in Palladiad. Perhaps he'll come back to find me, though. He gave you a letter to give to me? Wonderful. Thank you so. I knew that he cared. You know, you didn't have to do all of this for me, and I really appreciate it. You're clearly a wonderful person. You should visit my friend Barnand Erli in Telbranora. He's a wonderful person, and I think the two of you would get along famously. Yes, I don't care about them at all anymore.
Again? Is this about the errand you are doing for me? Very good. I'll just take that skull from you. Perfect for what I have in mind. Thank you. Now, as I promised, I'll answer your questions on the Narivaran cult. Go ahead. This Ashlander cult believes the long-dead hero Narivar will be reborn to honor ancient promises to the tribes. According to legend, The prophesied Nrivaran will cast down the false gods of the Tribunal Temple, restore the traditional ancestor worship practiced by the Ashlanders, and drive all outlanders from Morrowind. Both Temple and Empire outlaw the cult, but it persists among the Ashlanders, who care little for Imperial or Temple law. Here. Take this copy of my notes on the topic for chaos. Nrivar is a first-age hero of the Dunmer people. He was a great general and leader. He helped form the First Council, and united the Dunmer houses against foreign invaders aided by the traders of House Dagoth. He triumphed over Morrowind's enemies at Red Mountain, but died in the battle. The Ashlanders have a prophecy that the legendary hero Nrivar will be reborn. They call this reincarnated hero the Nrivaran.
You have my ear.
Please join me.
Greetings, citizen. I'm Balin Oaval. Welcome to Balmora. We're a House Wallow town, and loyal citizens of the Empire. What the Dunmer of House Wallow are generally proud to be citizens of the Empire. Oh, we complain about the taxes and bureaucrats and greedy merchants like everyone else, but being part of the Empire means free trade and prosperity, and we like that. Other Dunmer houses Ridderin and Telvanni, devout temple-goers, Ashlanders are less enthusiastic about the Empire and Imperial control of Morrowind.
I can spare a few moments, if you care to talk.
The following are notes from Sharn Georema. The following are notes from Sharn Gra-Muzgob to Chaos Kosadas. The Nrivaran cult. This Ashlander religious cult follows prophecies of a Nrivar reborn to honor ancient promises to the tribes, to re-establish the traditions of the prophet Velith, to cast down the false gods of the Tribunal Temple, and to drive all outlanders from Morrowind. Both Temple and Empire outlaw the cult, but it persists among the Ashlanders, despite Imperial and Temple repression. Because it is persecuted, it remains a secret cult, and it is hard to judge how widespread it is among the Ashlanders, or whether it has any following outside the Ashlander tribes. The Nrivaran. The Ashlanders firmly believe that Nrivar will return to restore the glories of ancient Rhysdain. Morrowind was called Rhysdain before the Imperial occupation. The Ashlanders say the great houses and the temple have abandoned the pure teachings of the prophet Velith, forsaking ancestor worship for the false gods of the Tribunal, and embracing the comforts of civilization that corrupted the High Elves. The temple, on the other hand, venerates Saint Nrivar, but rejects the disgusting notion that the false incarnate will walk the earth like a ghoul. Nrivar. The temple honors Saint Nrivar as the greatest Dunmer general, first counselor, and companion of Vivek, Almalexia, and Suthasil, who united the Dunmer houses to destroy the evil Dwemer, the treacherous House Dagoth, and their western allies at Red Mountain. But the Ashlanders say Nrivar promised to honor the ancient spirits and the tribal law, and that he will come again to honor that promise. To the Ashlanders, this means destroying the false temple and driving the Imperial invaders from the land. Nrivaran prophecies. Dream visions and prophecies are a respected tradition in Ashlander culture. Their wise women and shamans take careful note of dreams and visions, and pass on the tribe's legacies of vision and prophecy to their successors. By contrast, the temple and the Western faiths are suspicious of mysticism, and they regard interpretation of dreams and visions as primitive superstition. The most common version of the Nrivaran prophecy is the stranger. The verses are obscure, as are most prophecies. But two observations are in order. First, many less well-informed scholars assume that the phrase journeyed far neath moon and star is just a cliché to suggest a very long journey, but the Nrivar of legend was known to possess a magical ring named One Clan under Moon and Star. Upon which Nrivar is supposed to have sworn his promise to honor ancient Ashlander traditions and land rights. Second, the reference to 7 curses must certainly refer to the lost prophetic verses known to the Ashlanders as the 7 curses. The stranger. When earth is sundered, and skies choked black, and sleepers serve the 7 curses. To the hearth there comes a stranger, journeyed far neath moon and star, though stark-born to sire uncertain. His aspect marks his certain fate. Wicked stalk him, righteous curse him. Prophets speak, but all deny. Many trials make manifest the stranger's fate, the curse's bane. Many touchstones try the stranger. Many fall, but one remains. Lost prophecies. Ashlander elders complain of prophecies which have been lost to tribal memory due to the carelessness or ineptitude of earlier generations of wise women and Ashkans. Suspicious scholars wonder whether these prophecies might have been deliberately forgotten or suppressed. 3 Nriveran prophecies in particular are said to have been lost: 1 the lost prophecies, 2 the 7 curses, and 3 7 visions of 7 trials of the incarnate. Perhaps these lost prophecies will someday be found, either in forgotten accounts written by literate travelers, or in the memories of isolated Ashlanders, or in the secret traditions of the wise women and shamans.
Well met.
Are you here to discuss your orders, Ada? Or is there something else you want? And these are Sharn's notes on the Nriveran cult? Excellent. I'm promoting you to Blade's apprentice, Ada. I'd like some time to think how this fits in with the Emperor's plans for you. So if you'd like to get in a little freelance adventuring, go ahead. But whenever you're ready, I'll have new orders for you. I'm promoting you to apprentice rank, effective immediately. And here's a little present: 2 spell scrolls. The divine intervention will recall you to the nearest imperial shrine, and the Shivi intervention will recall you the nearest temple. They come in handy for a quick getaway. No, Ada. No thanks needed. You're doing great work. Now, get out of here and let me read.
Gra-Muzgob Informant. The spymaster told me to get Sharn Gra-Muzgob at the Balmoram Mages Guild to tell me about the Nriveran, and then report back to him. I'll have to do a little errand for her first, he says. I'm beginning to see a pattern here. Rather than pay informants with hard cash, Caius Cosadas trades favors for information. And as the new recruit in the organization, I provide the favors. Well. A lesson in humility. Sharn Gra-Muzgob will provide the information on the Nriveran that the spymaster wants after I've done a little errand for her. She wants me to retrieve the skull of Lavule Andrano from Andrano ancestral tomb. She mentioned Dunmer prejudices against necromancy, and warned me not to upset the natives. Sharn Gra-Muzgob says that Andrano ancestral tomb is south of Balaviat, just off the road, just before the fork where the road goes southwest towards Sidanin and southeast to Vivek. She gave me an enchanted blade and some scrolls, because she says some spirits are immune to normal weapons. I delivered the skull Sharn Gra-Muzgob asked for, and she's agreed to tell me about the Nriveran as the spymaster requested. Sharn Gra-Muzgob told me about the Nriveran cult, and gave me some notes to give the spymaster. Now I should return and report, and give him these notes. The spymaster seemed happy with the notes I gave him on the Nriveran from Sharn Gra-Muzgob. He said he'd like some time to think how the information fits in with the Emperor's plans for me. So if I want, I have some time to do a little freelance adventuring. But whenever I'm ready, Caius says he'll have new orders for me. The spymaster promoted me to apprentice rank in the Blades. He seems pleased with me, because he also gave me a little present.